This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. WFO Ignition, back in the laboratory here in beautiful sunny South Florida. How's everybody doing? I am back from the SEMA show. I am back from 11 days in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am here for a few hours and then headed to Pomona, California for the Auto Club Finals. How about that, Giovanni? The self-aggrandizing travel schedule.
Woo-hoo!
I used to hate when other co-hosts or other hosts on the network that I worked at would aggrandize about the travel schedule. And then I'm going here, and then I'm going there, and I'm going there, and then I'm getting a rental car, and then I'm going to... And now I'm doing it. It's horrible. I feel like I've gone to the dark side. But it is true. So we are getting together for a WFO Radio Ignition, and we're going to cover many subjects very rapidly. You are going to be entertained. You're going to love it. NHRA Nitro is coming out. Bo Butner, Hector Arana, John DeBartolomeo, Alan Reinhart. We're all talking about the Auto Club Finals. The final race. It's the final countdown. I thought we agreed that you were going to sing the chorus that's the final countdown. By, what is it, Europe?
It is by Europe.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't agree to that.
Well, it's the final countdown, and all the listeners, you guys can do it on your own whenever you're ready.
It's the final countdown. The final countdown.
Isn't that great? The final countdown.
Woo, 80s rock bands.
Everybody knows I love the NHRA countdown.
I thought you were going to say 80s rock hair bands.
Well, I like 80s rock hair bands, too. I've acquired them over the years. Now that we know Grammy Award winner Gary Corbett and all, I was kind of missing. I was a hip-hop kid. I liked the rap. You know, remember going to the record store like Specs Music or Sam Goody or any one of those other record stores? Name some other record stores. Peaches. Yes, we had Peaches. Any others? Man, here in South Florida, Specs.
Specs, there you go.
Peaches. Sam Goody.
Tower Records.
We did not have Tower Records. We did not have Tower Records. But everybody had their record store.
Well, we had Ricky's Records in my neighborhood.
And you would go there, and you would flip through the vinyl. And I remember I had a friend who liked hair bands and metal, right? And I, would listen to some metal because it was metal. And we would go, and we would flip through. And I remember seeing the album covers to Iron Maiden.
Ooh,
and
scary.
think like, wow, the artwork was very elaborate.
Oh, are you sure you didn't think they were like devil worshippers or something?
Oh, no, I did not. And you know who else? Dio. Always had
Ronnie
crazy like album cover. Is there such a thing as album artwork now?
There's download artwork.
That's what I'm saying. Are we being totally deprived of the experience of album artwork?
I guess so. Because even as with the CDs, they still essentially were, there was some art.
There was some artwork, but with the download, you get no art.
You get nothing.
Maybe you get to see something like on your iPod on the screen. It shows you.
Yeah, like the picture.
Like the picture.
The tag.
But there's not right. It's a tag. It's an MP3 tag.
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal. But anyway, I was in the different section. I was in the section called RAP, R-A-P, which is not called anymore.
No, what's it called now?
But in retrospect, I should have spent more time with the metal people because the metal girls were very, first of all, plentiful. Say no more than that. There was a whole bunch of them. But yes.
Are you alluding that they were easy? Is that what you're trying to
say? No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm alluding at all. I'm just saying I watch videos.
You didn't even have long hair.
I did not. You were a long hair. Get out of the car, long hair. Get in the car.
No, it was get out the car, long hair.
Whatever. No, I was always very, short hair, very, my dad was a Marine Corps drill instructor, okay? There's no long hair happening. even if I wanted it, which I didn't. But if I did, it was not happening.
I can see that.
No way. But yes, Europe, the final countdown. The day that NHRA does away with the countdown, which I don't want them to do. But if they did, and we actually were preparing for
It's the final countdown.
the final countdown, how great would that be? The only upside to get into the countdown. All right. We do have this big event this weekend. I am headed to L.A., headed out there. We got a lot of WFO radio listeners going to be out there. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. Hopefully you're there. I hear Scott Thomas is going. Rich and Saugus better be going. Kathy, listener Kathy Macias is going. Everybody's going, man. They're all going. And we're going to have a great time. It's going to be chaotic and fun. Not as fun as 11 straight days in Vegas. Do you realize this has taken a toll on me? It was like I was in the desert.
You seem broken to me, to be honest with you.
No, it's not that I'm broken.
You've been broken by this 2 weeks of away from your comfort zone.
Yeah, see how wrong you are. How wrong you are. More like I have been on the mountaintop and I have completed my Vegas training. I am now a full Vegas Jedi. I have lived in Vegas. I have driven in Vegas. I have taken the back roads in Vegas. I've eaten breakfast at the Pepper Mill at 5:50 a.m. multiple days in a row. I've lived the Vegas lifestyle with Vegas people. I have switched hotels from one to the other. I have Ubered.
Okay,
I have
now
lifted.
wait. We've eaten breakfast
I have driven
in the middle of at 5 o'clock in the morning at the Pepper
Not
Mill.
before work,
but
though. Not
well,
before
that's
work.
the difference.
See, that's
that
the
we
thing.
ate breakfast before going back to the hotel.
That was late dinner. That's not breakfast.
Not eating breakfast as we're going
As a citizen.
as a meal before going to work. We were eating it as a meal before coming home.
Well, exactly. That's more
Yeah.
Vegas vacation. This is Vegas living.
But nonetheless, just wanted to,
I have driven in a driverless car. I have driven in multiple
we'll have
driverless
to get
cars.
into that.
Write it all down, man. These are all things. I'm giving you the Vegas
well,
Joe
you
download.
survived the driverless car.
There's a whole company that does a whole bunch of stuff. I did not tell them that I was a media member and that I was going to spill the beans on the whole deal. But yeah, man, I grilled them with questions. I have driven in a driverless car, folks. I have gone from location to location and lived to tell about it. 3, in fact, over the course of my Vegas stay. It was all very good. I was very disconnected with many things because you're in a totally different universe.
Unbelievable. Driverless car.
Driverless car, though they're all over Vegas. You can't get away from them. There's many. A company called Aptiv has partnered with Lyft, which I choose to use Lyft over Uber. And the first thing I got when I tried to get a Lyft was, are you okay with potentially getting a driverless car? And so I said, yes. Why? Well,
Guinea pig.
For this moment right here, of course, I am an early adopter. That's what I do. I am an early adopter.
That's
I
what they
adopt
call the
things.
guinea pigs that get executed sometimes by mistake.
Listen, you never get ahead if you keep doing the same thing you've always done. That's the thing. You've got to push the edge. You've got to push the edge. Go tell Chuck Yeager that stuff. There's Chuck Yeager. He gets in that X1. He breaks the sound barrier. There's Joe Castello. I get in a self-driving car. I go from Luxor
You're paying to hitchhike is all you're doing. And you're going to compare yourself to the great Chuck Yeager?
Yeah. We're both pushing the
Oh,
boundaries.
my goodness. I've heard it all now.
We're both pushing the boundaries. The edge of the envelope. I got in a driverless car, man. It was cool. There's 2 people up there. There's not just one.
Oh, whoa, wait.
If you get in a regular lift, there's
Are we
one
going to get
person.
into this now?
No. We'll save it to later. That'll keep people going to the end of the thing. They got to hear that now, right? After that,
Well, let me write it down, or else we might never get back to it.
You are totally in charge of that
Driverless
aspect of the
car.
show. This is a very high-speed version of the program here today. I missed the big Joey Logano. People don't realize, or maybe they did. I hope they realized that there was no Ignition show last week. There was an NHRA Nitro show, but there was no Ignition show because it was just impossible.
Well, we didn't have a way to do it. You were not here.
No, we could have gotten
And,
on Skype,
I
but that
was
would have
here.
required me taking. I was in
Well,
the middle
but
of.
you were working at that moment.
I was doing all of those things exactly. The 3-hour time difference is very challenging. Couldn't do it. But we have a lot of material for the off season, for the winter break, and even for right now. There was no Ignition show. I did see
No, we tried recording into the phone, but it just didn't work out with Joe having one side of the conversation and I having the other one, and it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were saying. But Joey Logano, bump and run on Martin Truex at Martinsville. I saw that. Punches his ticket to Homestead, and Truex was upset by it. So I just want to give a little debrief on that. I was a little disappointed that Truex was a little disappointed because it's Martinsville, and you should know. Everybody should know. But does this make me feel differently about Martin Truex Jr.? Absolutely not. And that's the sad thing about it. Truex reacted in a way that I feel was a little over the top whiny. Come on. But at the same time, I've heard a lot of people and seen a lot of people on Twitter especially. And maybe that's the venue, Twitter. I'll never like Truex ever again because of the way he reacted on this one time. He's fundamentally changed my opinion of him for his life because of this. Come on, people. What's up with you?
Those people are ignorant.
The guy was obviously
and by
very
the way, guess what?
disappointed.
He's allowed to be disappointed in that moment right then and there and say whatever it is. And a couple days later or the very next weekend, see Joey at the track and realize, you know what? I need to win a championship. I can't be worried about this guy. When I'm worried about somebody else and not about my stuff, that's when things don't work out the way they're supposed to work out.
Racers say so many things that they just say. People just say they're blowing off steam. They're getting their emotions out. For instance, I think towards the tail end of this race, the next race, so Joey Logano punches his ticket. He's going to Homestead again. And coming out of nowhere, guess what? Joey Logano, Penske, runner for the championship. Okay, watch out for that. Of course, little G is loving it. This week, Kevin Harvick dominates. Wins both stages and really has a car to crush everybody. And does. Ryan Blaney hanging out a little bit up there. But it was all Harvick. Harvick wins the race. Okay. So now you got Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, going to be running for the championship at Homestead Miami Speedway at the Ford EcoBoost 400, where my boy Ken is coming down and going to be hanging out in the chalet. What's up, Ken?
Woo!
One of our listeners that I met, we gained a listener down there in the by me hosting the thing at the Ford EcoBoost 400 in the chalet.
I know what you're talking about. That area.
It's got a name, though, and a sponsor. It just changes every year. But anyway, I digress. Harvick. Fan Zone, exactly. Woo! And I will be hosting the Fan Zone once again. It's fun. I have learned to love hosting the Fan Zone. It is a lot of fun. But we do have tickets to the Ford EcoBoost 400, not to the Fan Zone. I'm mentioning the tickets too close to the mentioning of the Fan Zone. Fan Zone, your own deal. Just tickets to the race, we got them. Deepenhawk says he wants to go.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So that's another pair. Gone.
Yep, just like that.
Just like that. Joey Logano.
You win
Kevin
the raffle
Harvick.
for the day, Deepenhawk.
In a perfect world, it will be Kyle Busch and Martin Truex, and we'll have a nice count chase final.
Yeah,
and it's looking like it could end up that way.
I mean, I guess it would be fair, though they were the strongest cars. Although in the close of the year, Chase Elliott had, closed out strong. Their other cars did most of the winning the second half.
And that's why Truex was upset, in fact, in this race. And let me give the results. Kevin Harvick wins, Ryan Blaney second, Joy third, Joey Logano looking really good right here at the end. But let's hear from Kevin Harvick, who took the win, a dominating win at Texas.
Well, I mean, really, that's what you race for, to try to get yourself in position to get into the playoffs and then position yourself to have a chance to get to Homestead. So it's not easy, this time of year, just because of the fact that, there's everybody's throwing everything that they have at it, and all the notes and all the things that you've done all year are compiled into the cars that you have on the racetrack, and it's tough to win races at this point in the year, and so to get to victory lane, and that's our goal. I mean, that's how you control your destiny the most is to get to victory lane instead of counting your fingers and toes. Trying to figure out what you need to do. It's guaranteed if you go to victory lane and you're still in it. So these guys have been in these types of positions before when we when we haven't had points and put themselves, in scenario. We've put ourselves in scenarios to where we've had our backs against the wall and had to prepare at a high level, and that's really what we've done all year. And so when you do that day after day after day, and that preparation takes another step, it's a pretty refined step of details that goes along with it. So it's fun to see a whole day come together. We've had a lot of really fast cars in the playoffs here. It's just the days haven't come together, and sometimes you go through phases like that. And luckily we've scored a lot of stage points and kept ourselves in the game, and that's what you got to do. Just hang around, survive in advance.
That's it. Survive in advance. It took a long time to get to that. Survive and
By the
advance.
way, did he even take a breath
No
for
breath.
the last 34 seconds?
I'm wondering if you edited that all together, like
I
6
swear
things
I did
all
not.
together.
No.
Because, man, Kevin, take a breath. Pause every
All
now
that
and
to
again.
just tell us survive in advance.
Survive in advance. He could have come up like, okay, now the winner here at Texas, Kevin Harvick. Kevin, survive in advance.
I'm out. See ya.
And that's what he did. And that is why I like this system. Even though he did reference the counting of the fingers and the toes and all that stuff, which we,
He's right, though.
I'm
If you
checked
don't-
out on it.
If you don't win, it's kind of complicated.
It's super complicated if you don't win. But if you win, it's super simple.
That it is.
And also, at least they have the system gets the right people in there.
Generally speaking.
So far.
Yes, so far we haven't had someone just completely sneak in that hasn't won a race, like Newman got to the finals that year, but he didn't win the championship.
Newman got in there, and they have refined the system again with the stage points.
Right.
Stage points means you're a good driver. You are doing well if you're gaining stage points. Every now and again, somebody steals a stage point, but that's rare. Good quality cars and good quality teams and drivers are the ones that are winning the stages. And so that's good. It's just a complicated way of scoring. Like, all right, you got these and these, and over these, and it's like you said,
Carry the one.
Eric Jones was 4th, Kyle Larson 5th, Chase Elliott 6th. How about that for the future of the sport all in a row? Kurt Busch 7th, Eric Almirola 8th. 9th was Martin Truex Jr., 10th, Austin Dillon. Now, I want to take a second because I want to mention Eric Almirola. Was it...
Oh, I know. He's upset with Joey, too.
Yes,
Joy.
that's what I'm talking about, because all the people that hate Martin Truex now for the rest of his life because he reacted negatively to being bumped out of the way for the win. Which, of course, he's disappointed, and he was disappointed. Now, he's hated forever. Eric Almirola says because Joey, ran him hard or something, that now he is not going to give Joey a break in the final race. Remember
so was
that?
he going to give him one before?
Well, that's the thing is now...
No, right. No, I know. We had it playing in the background yesterday because we happened to be watching the race.
I like Eric Almirola, but now I don't like him anymore ever again because... So what? Really, 2 weeks from now, when Joey is running for the championship, he's going to pull a Matt Kenseth? I'm going to teach him a lesson because he drove me hard. This is what people don't like about racing right now. People don't like all that, you need to give me a break when I think you do.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah. One place you don't see all that. You need to give me a break when I think you need to give me a break and drive me hard when I only say it's okay. You don't see that in Formula One. That does not happen in Formula One. So, just saying. 11th on back. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Brad Keselowski, Paul Menard, Bowman the Showman, Jimmy Johnson, William Lord Byron, Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, Jamie McMurray 19th and 20th, A.J. Allmendinger. Trevor Bayne, Ty Dillon, Chris Buescher, David Reagan, Bubba Wallace, Clint Boyer, Regan Smith, Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell, Denny Hamlin 30th. Parker Kligerman, Ross Chastain, Reed Sorensen, Kyle Weatherman, Landon Castle, J.J. Yaley, Joey Gase, Matt DiBenedetto, David Starr, Corey LaJoie. 40th, and there are the final results for the 14th annual AAA Texas 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. There it is. Woo, woo. Now, as far as points go,
2 races left.
Carry the one. I know. It's we got our
That's
final
it.
race in NHRA,
Phoenix and us.
which is great. Phoenix is this weekend. I'm going to be at the Auto Club Finals in Pomona, California. Thank you very much. But then back here next Tuesday, and then we get ready for a Ford Championship weekend, which Gio and I work and slave at that event.
We sure do.
Yeah. I shouldn't say the word slave, but we work really hard. And then that's it. Racing season is over. Bring on the drone talk. So let's see. Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano have advanced. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. are the next two. And how big a lead do they have? Like 25 over Kurt Busch, it would appear.
Yes, no, it's exactly what it is. Kyle Busch has got 28, and Truex Jr.'s got 25.
So. And so, if Martin Truex
Which were
Jr.
the guy, right, they won the most races throughout the year and gathered up all those points.
And they finish in the top 10, then they deserve to be there. Those are the big three. It's going to be the big three plus Joey Logano. That's what it should be.
Unless, or if one of these four other guys finds a way to win the race.
Right. In which case, then they would deserve it.
Which, absolutely. So that's why I'm saying that it's not the way it necessarily should be. If one of these four other guys wins the race, then they deserve it too.
Yes. Like you said, Chase Elliott.
But at this point, we definitely are going to get either Kyle Busch or Truex, it would seem like. Well, no, because I guess if they go out there and wreck them early, then
it's not.
They both might not make it.
It's not certain,
right?
But it would. They need to really
right,
blow
like
it.
a 25 and 28 point lead over the cutoff.
Epic fail.
When there's only 45 points or 40 places for sure, maybe 45 points available throughout the race to win is a pretty good lead. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there's some number where if they come in already like 23rd or better.
No, those numbers are all out. We could find them, but we're
doing
doing a high-speed show today, folks. We're doing a high-speed show. You're getting a lot of entertainment value, I think, out of this show, and it's all thanks to these great sponsors. HusseyPerformance.net, David Allen. I got a report that one of our listeners reached out to them and needs gaskets for a tractor. I made a big deal about this on the NHRA Nitro show. I'm doing it on Ignition, too. CatSpotLitter.com. I've really been pushing CatSpot. You got to listen to my commercials on the NHRA Nitro show, everybody. You're going to love this.
When it airs tomorrow.
When it airs later in the week. Exactly. Or whenever it airs. It's in the archive.
Whenever it airs.
Whenever it airs. Which reminds me.
Well, no, go ahead, please. Don't interrupt this.
A lot of people, you would...
you know what? Just get on with the spot.
A lot of people were very disappointed last week.
I have no idea what you're talking
about. CatSpotLitter.com. I'm really pushing CatSpot as the holiday gift, the go-to gift for the missus. Yeah. I think, no, really. I think that
honey,
all the husbands whose wives deal with cat litter boxes should splurge on CatSpotLitter.com for the holidays as a holiday gift. A couple of weeks ago, I said it was a bad idea. Now I have to change my mind completely and think it is a great idea. You need to get CatSpot litter for your wife for your anniversary. RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Marvin Rodak. That is another just no-brainer for the holidays. Holiday packs. Pound of coffee, hot sauce, spice rub. Comes in a cool box. It comes in basically normal postage. But... it smells great when you open it. There's an aroma, and it's an experience. And I get this experience thanks to Marvin, and you will like it. And everybody that has received one from me has called me and thanked me so greatly. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure, something you can go do. It is for adrenaline junkies or people who are curious about driving a dragster. It is very, very fun, and you can get that as a great gift as well. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Samtech, big year. Now, I've been thinking, I was just at the SEMA show, and I did a lot of walking and thinking and looking at different things, and just about everything there was created by a CNC machine. Like, just about everything. Maybe not everything, but just about everything. And I really hope that the young listeners out there, assuming there are young listeners, we're a podcast, right? We got to have young people out there. We need a group. We need, like, the 10 to 25-year-old WFO radio listeners to report. So we can put you in a group, so we can segregate you from the rest of the audience in your own special area. No, we'd like to know where the young people are. Motorsportsguys.com. Get that Vegas Win Tribute hat using the promo code WFO at checkout, along with your regular purchase. AerospaceComponents.com, Hankstafers, metalworking lubricants. We're going to be at PRI. If you're going to be at PRI, be ready to go hang in the Hankstafers booth for a little while. And Audible.com/WFO Ignition. These are the people who make WFO radio possible, and we are very much thrilled to have them on board. Hopefully you will use them for something because they are nice people. All right, when we come back, we're going to do the Fantasy League. Right? We're going to do the Fantasy League, and then we're going to tackle some SEMA stuff. We're going to talk about Lewis Hamilton as champ. It's over. He is now champion of the world once again, Lewis Hamilton. Look, man, what can you say? The guy is one of the greats. He's one of the greats, one of the greatest of all time. But you could maybe argue that he is, with the exception of Schumacher. He's not better than Schumacher. But he is
Well, I don't know.
epic.
The argument can be made that it's harder to win now, right?
Yeah, I guess the argument could be made. But I think some of those old school guys will say that the argument was harder to win then. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But very interesting stuff. We're going to talk about it after this on WFO.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, how do you start your day? You started off with a little coffee. And do you want something cheap and vacuum-packed with garbage? You want to pay for a retail coffee, it's like $11? Or do you want something that is good, like RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com? Join the Rodax Army. WFO users and listeners know all about it. Over 40 grades to choose from. This is roasted fresh per your order, not to mention hot sauce, spice rub. You got to call Marvin, get on the phone line, or go to the website, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Check it out. That's RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the blockhead and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
This is Jeff Rice, a.k.a. Deep and Hot. I just want to let you know that NHRA Nitro is probably the best coverage of NHRA drag racing, period. How can you not like a 3.5-hour broadcast with all the winners specifically for drag racing? WFO rules the airwaves.
Now, back to WFO Radio Ignition.
I'm a little confused. Why are you laughing? What are you laughing at? You think Deep and Hawk
What do you mean?
Is funny?
Yeah, I do. Well,
funny,
I don't know that
sincere to
he's
amuse
funny.
you?
I don't hang out with him long enough to know if he's a funny guy.
Like a clown?
But, I'm not exactly like a clown. I kind of find clowns creepy.
Yeah.
But, like a comedian, I felt that he's had a funny line there.
What was the line?
That who doesn't like 3.5 hour?
And the answer is you don't like it because you got to put it all together. Right. 3.5 hours. What happened to the days of the 1 hour show? Remember that?
Oh, of course I do.
Yeah, no, this thing got bigger and bigger.
And, yep, then the
got bigger and
2 hour show and then the unlimited shows.
Oh, no. All right, I'm going right to the Fantasy League, getting everything geared up. I see Jimmy Johnson and Fernando Alonso are going to do a car swap. We talked about that a couple weeks back. We sensed something was brewing. We didn't talk about what it was, but that was really the only thing it could have been. Remember that video? We were watching the video.
Yeah, weren't they like calling each other or something?
They were like working out, watching each other's highlights. You're in their underwear or something. And they call each other. They text each other emojis. Well, they're going to do a car swap. And if you're Alonso, you're really getting the short end of the deal. But if you're Jimmy Johnson, you're getting a great end of the deal. You get to, elevate, go quicker and faster.
Absolutely.
And if you're Alonso, you get to go slower.
Yeah, but those guys, like when Lewis drove the stock car, they like the idea of driving a big car like that. It's completely different of what they are accustomed to.
Right.
A car that doesn't have, doesn't stop on a dime and pick it up like theirs does.
Yeah, it's nothing like it.
Doesn't have the side G forces that they're accustomed to.
Well, that'll be fun. Now, when is this thing going down?
November, end of November in Bahrain.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Let's see. Alonso learned the determination of Jimmy Johnson. Here it is, Bob Pockrass' story. Okay, I'm just going to read it because I think it's cool. Two-time Formula One champion Fernando Alonso was chatting with seven-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson in January, and Alonso casually mentioned that they should drive each other's cars. Like, yeah, we should drive each other's cars. And Alonso soon learned the determination of Jimmy Johnson. I went after it hard right away. I wasn't going to let a passing comment slow me down, said Jimmy Johnson on Friday. Johnson worked tirelessly to make it happen after the conversation at NASCAR Media Day, where Alonso was present to promote the Rolex 24 at Daytona. The Hendrick Motorsports driver will spend November 26th in Bahrain driving a McLaren Formula One car. Alonso will drive a Hendrick Motorsports car that competed in a race earlier this year. Johnson and Alonso have posted videos over the past 2 months teasing the ride swap. But this isn't going to be just a few laps and go home. Johnson is going to London after the NASCAR finale, November 18th, to spend time in the McLaren simulator and have a seat fitted. An avid runner and biker, Johnson also has been working on his neck muscles in hopes he can drive all day. Jeff Gordon, who drove Juan Pablo Montoya's Formula One car in 2003, told him that will be his biggest challenge. In talking with Gordon, he had the ability to run more laps in the setup they had, and his neck wouldn't let him. Our cars, especially in the brakes, we do not create the Gs. We only have a couple of road courses a year, so our neck muscles are pretty far behind. Weak. They're worthless. Worthless and
frail.
Weak. That tells you something right there, though. And that's exactly one of the reasons. Like, Jeff Gordon, when he drove Montoya's car, was still in the tail end of his prime. And his neck wouldn't allow him. He had to get out. He was too weak. He was not in the physical condition to handle the car. And you see these Formula One guys, they all got no neck. They're like a no neck. You know those dudes that are like, I got no neck. Bahrain was chosen because, wait, did I get it right? Yeah. Johnson will attend the Formula One finale November 25th in Abu Dhabi, and then will head to Bahrain to run the next day. The Hendrick car was put in a container on October 2nd to be shipped with enough tires and equipment to run a full day. Why not just fly it there? A crew of Hendrick mechanics will attend the test to work with Alonso. Bahrain was chosen because one of McLaren's investors is an owner at the Bahrain track. Johnson hopes to even do some laps under the lights. The downforce in the Formula One car is about 6 times that of a Cup car.
Oh, that's it.
The braking zones are much deeper towards the turn in an F1 car than in a stock car. It's the ultimate car, Johnson said about testing the F1 car. That's by design what they've created for a vehicle. Our vehicles are much more entertainment-based, certainly a lot of fun to drive. But to feel the downforce of one of those cars has always been in the back of my mind. I've always wanted to experience it. That's great. You know what? Like, I already think Jimmy Johnson's great. But that's a racer, man. Racers want to drive all kinds of cars. And they know what the pinnacle is. And he knows that Formula One is the pinnacle. Hendrick Motorsports is paying the costs associated with getting the crew and the car to Bahrain, Johnson said. Zach Brown, who leads the McLaren program, is a longtime marketing executive who has overseen several motorsports marketing campaigns in NASCAR. Zach's like, heck yeah, that's a great idea. Johnson said, we'll see what the total cost ends up at. If there are crashed cars, they might turn to the drivers and say, hey, help out. I'm not sure what Alonso is doing, but I've offered to help Rick Hendrick in any way. What does the ride swap mean? Johnson has a contract with Hendrick through 2020. I don't have anything inked for 2021, but a 45-year-old F1 driver I don't think has ever happened, Johnson said with a laugh. But I'll put it out there. As far as Alonso, who is retiring from Formula One after the season, Johnson doesn't see a full-time NASCAR deal in Alonso's future. Fernando has huge interest in driving the Cup car. He really does. We even offered him some ovals when this thing changed direction, where of where it would happen a few times. He preferred to do a road course. He has not led me to believe any of that full-time NASCAR talk. If I was in his shoes and had the opportunity to go drive on an oval, I would have taken it if NASCAR was a destination for me. And there you go. It's over. Bob Pockrass, ESPN. Kind of interesting. I like it. I like the idea. I want to see Jimmy. And I think Jimmy should be honorary driver, Haas F1.
Wow.
Honorary driver.
You don't
compete
say,
in a couple of races just to make things a little more interesting.
Why not?
Yep, why not?
That's
as a third car, which aren't they talking about maybe a third car? For exactly that reason. Meaning the Formula One rules may allow a third car for teams.
Right.
Yeah.
I understood what you meant for whatever reason.
All right, here's the results to the Fantasy League. League picks AAA Texas 500, finishing first, Northwest Nitro. Does Craig even still listen? I don't think so. Craig and Newhall, on the other hand, second, 360. Remember what I told you about Craig and Newhall?
Ooh, Craig and Newhall. I know what that means.
DRT Girl number 2, third. Black Falcons, fourth. New Hampshire Bucknut, fifth. Easy E009, sixth. Black Ice, seventh. Barbecue Bob, eighth. Driving Hard, ninth. Low Blinker Fluid, 10th. Where is Los Chingones?
No, that's for the week.
This is the weekly one, I know, but he was not in the top 10 for the week.
Okay.
Smothered and Covered, Southern Racer X, Beats 41, Tennessee Moneyman, Brian Spink down to 15th, still no Geo or...
What are the points there? Those points seem kind of high, I guess.
335, 336. Yeah, everybody in the 300.
Day.
Well, now, so you don't know the results. Okay, well, now we're going to the league, man.
Look, I'm still winning the playoff segment.
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Nobody cares about that, man. Nobody cares about that playoff segment.
Where does it say full season?
Full season. All right, here we go.
Okay, no change. Oh, okay. I see where the change went.
Oh, wow. Okay, Los Chincones still leads.
Maintained his lead.
He must have got it back last week, which we did not give the scores because we did not.
Oh, goodness sakes. Poor Lowe didn't get all the pump and circumstance of becoming the weekly winner again or whatever it is.
Right.
Taking the overall standings lead. What
Yeah,
bad luck for us not to be on the air the week right after his team wins the World Series and he takes command of the thing.
Did that happen? Oh, we weren't really on when Lowe's team won something?
It happened over, after we were on.
Kind of old news, really, now.
Well, exactly. I feel like if that happened weeks ago.
People are thinking about the Super Bowl. We're looking ahead.
They're talking winter meetings and free agency already.
Exactly. It's old news.
Anyway.
Lowe's Ching.
But Lowe is
81 points ahead of Craig and Newhall. Craig and Newhall takes over second over Gio in Miami, who is third, 93 points back, though. He has fallen back. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR is fourth, 107 back, but still in striking distance. Bug Barn has fallen 3 positions, down to 113 back. Bobby's failing.
Oh, Bobby.
He says he's out of drivers, man, and he's going to sink like a rock.
He's out of...
It's over.
Okay, now to be fair here for Lowe, since there's a new...
It's not a new.
All right, a new leader.
It's not.
Since the last time we did the scores.
All right.
That's it. He doesn't get full.
Smothered and Covered 7th. Elephant Racers 8th. Uper 1 9th. Day Racing 21 10th. 232 points out of the lead. Everybody's making moves now, man. They're all making moves. Now on the 5, 15th, Easy E009 up 2. 20th, Beats 41. 25th, Dirty Hippies plus 4. Way to go, Dirty Hippies. 30th, Patrick the Webmaster. What's up, Pat?
The Hippies made a climb to the top.
Just ahead of I Can See Her Almirola's behind Hockey Kid. 35th, Tom Inc. Behind Spider Monkey Racing, who's up 2. And Tennessee Moneyman as well. Butt Sniffer as well. Whatever that is. Spider Monkey Racing, 35th. 40th, DRT 99. 46th, WFO Joe, just behind Fleet Tree. I have followed me. Oh, here we go. Nobody cares about any of that other stuff. Listen to this. Okay, 40th, DRT 99. Then, the race of the century. 42nd, Low Blinker Fluid, which I think is Mrs. Moneyman. Team Gray, 43rd, up 3 positions, leapfrogs. Miss Little Low, Fleet
well,
Tree.
Gray's still ahead of you. Okay. Oh, he got ahead of you.
He got ahead of me.
Oh, that's good for your guys' battle there.
He got ahead of me. And WFO Joe, 46th. And so right there, me and Fleet Tree and some children. And they're beating us.
Yeah.
That's right, Fleet Tree. I'm 10 behind him. He's 1 behind Miss Little Low, and Gray's got her by 6. It's a tight pack. My new goal is to finish ahead of this little pack.
Oh, yeah.
That is the new goal.
Well, the Gray wanted to beat the hippie, but it looks like that's gone.
Yeah.
He's got over 200 points on the Gray. So
Yeah, now that's it.
it would take a epic failure on the hippies' part the last couple weeks.
I'm going to have to pay attention these final 2 weeks here, man.
I got to pay attention. I don't think I'm going to be able to win now without 80 points, but it looks like if it's a 2-horse race at this point.
No, with 2 races to go, you're still in
not
it,
even.
man.
Look, even Craig is 80 points back. That's a lot. Where Lowe took a lead there where Bug Barn
How's
was
it
only...
a 2-horse race? It's a 3-horse race.
No, at this point, Lowe kind of stretched out a little bit there. Cause
yeah, one bad race, man.
the
and
last
he
few
comes
weeks,
back to earth.
there was somebody within 10 points of him at some point. And
I don't know about last year, but I feel like this is
we'll see what happens.
without Lowe. If Lowe trips, anybody can win, man. Back to smothered and covered.
Well, there's definitely between Craig.
You got to start taking chances, though. If you're back
me,
there,
Mr. Fantasy, and Bug Barn, there's like what is that? 30 points covering those 4 spots right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yes, if Lowe, who has an 81-point lead right now, if he stumbles, there's a 4-car draft right there just waiting to.
But what are you going to do? Are you going to do the same thing Lowe does, or are you going to make a move and try to do something different?
Well, that's what I went to do a couple weeks ago, and it obviously didn't work out.
You got to find.
No, but you know who killed me? Lord William Byron, when he wrecked out and finished like super last a couple weeks ago, and so that really
ruined it.
Caused a 100-point swing.
Look at that trophy right there, man. You should tweet out some photos of that trophy. It's like that thing is gorgeous.
It is. It's super nice.
And there's a name is going to be added, and you know what the best part is that this will be completing a plaque.
It's going to say, no, I think we already completed a previous plaque.
No, we're going to
16, 17, 18. Oh, okay, I guess you're right.
And so the last 2
look at me.
years...
I can barely count.
The last 2 years champions have not been added to the trophy
no,
yet.
not yet.
Because we've been waiting for the plaque, and we've been keeping it secret from everybody, but now it's about to happen.
The last plaque says, Dirty Hippies, Uper 1, and Team 14.
Yes, and we have Smothered and Covered.
Yep.
And the previous champion. Who's last year's champion? Smothered and Covered was 2 years ago, and last year...
The reigning champ.
Team 14, and then Smothered and Covered.
Well, Team
Come
14
on, man,
is
you're
here.
our Fantasy League guy. How do you not know this? Whatever. We'll figure it out.
I'll look it up.
No, man, I got it right here. It's on the page. Congratulations to... I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong thing.
Look at this guy. Couldn't figure it out.
Here we go. Congratulations to Go Fast, Turn Left. That's last year's champion. Last year's champion, Go Fast, Turn Left, beat you by 85 points. You finished second, and I was 6th overall, for those that were wondering. And we had 7 people over 10,000 points last year. And if you're wondering, the margin of victory over you was 85 points. Would you like to know anything else about how you were defeated by Go Fast, Turn Left?
No, that's
Smothered and Covered finished fifth last year as defending champion. Who's the last name on the trophy?
Team 14.
Team 14. So it was followed by Smothered and Covered and Go Fast, Turn Left, and whoever wins this year, and that's going to make the next plate.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's cool. It could be you, or it could be Lowe, or it could be Mr. Fantasy NASCAR. Interesting. Well, there you go. Fantasy League in the books. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So Lewis Hamilton goes on and wins. Why don't you get me up to speed on everything that happened in Formula One?
Nothing happened. There was no race this weekend.
No, last weekend when I was gone. Mexico.
Max Verstappen won. The Red Bulls dominated in qualifying. They were 1-2. Ricciardo was actually number 1. Verstappen took the lead.
Yeah.
Ricciardo's car broke with like a handful of laps to go from second place.
What happened to the Ferraris?
They came in second and third.
What happened to the Haas Formula Ones?
Did not do well, I don't think.
It's now time for the Haas F1 report with Gio.
Yeah.
Is it true?
It looks like right now, in the last few weeks, things did not go well for Haas at Mexico in the USGP. And we are not going to be able to catch Renault for fourth, is it?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3,
fourth. We're going to be fifth.
So it looks like we're locked into fifth because we've got a pretty good lead on McLaren.
And we're stumbling down the stretch.
And we have been, these last two tracks were not conducive to our race car. And
it makes sense. The team doesn't have the bandwidth. They're probably working on 2019 stuff already. And there is the challenge of Formula One. Here you are, you're Haas F1, you're at the tail end of the season, you're competing, and you have to choose, okay, where do you put your resources? Do you put your resources in continuing to get ahead with 2019, or do you try to catch Renault for this year? And I'm sure that they had to make some tough choices. They don't have endless bandwidth, and that's why Ferrari and others spend hundreds of millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Because there are guys at Ferrari, they're all working on 2019 stuff. They're ahead. And not only Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull, they're all got 2019 stuff they're working at.
A little bit, but you know how these teams, remember, the teams that back when it was McLaren and Ferrari, they always fell a little bit behind at the start of the next season because they were still engineering the car all the way through the whole year, whereas all the other teams that were out of it would start working on the next year's car.
Well, the teams that were out of
completely.
it, they are the ones that get ahead the most. And you remember
Correct.
the Braun years.
The Braun year
that
when
was,
they got that Honda.
Best
the
Super Friends. Remember that?
Yes.
Now, the Mexico City race. Any other points or things happening in Mexico? I know it was a couple weeks ago the championship decided. People have moved on. But, Formula One-wise from the Geo notes?
No, that was it. It was Max wins the race. Ricciardo got the pole, and
there it is.
There it is. Ricciardo says that he's going to stay and drive the last two races. He's not bailing.
Oh, good. Yeah, just looking at some of the notes. Let's see. Ferrari failed to protect Vettel. Didn't support Vettel in this year's title fight. Oh, man.
I don't know about all that.
Well,
I think Vettel...
I like to go to Planet F1. And every story on here is some past driver's opinion of some current driver. Like, for instance, the big headline, Webber concerned ahead of Ricciardo's Renault move. And then the sub-story is, DC, McLaren and Williams are confusing and disappointing, meaning David Coulthard. And then down here, Della Rosa, quote, Ferrari failed to protect Vettel. There's a whole lot.
So basically, everybody that they get a quote from is a former driver for the story, and that's the lead headline.
Yeah.
So whoever the editor here is really lazy, and he just grabs a quick headline like that with the driver, with whoever the cut is.
Now, here's one for you. This is Haas F1. Delatraz handed postseason Haas test. Haas will run Swiss Formula 2 driver Louis Delatraz.
Alcatraz, what?
Delatraz. D-E-L-E. Traz. With a Z.
Like Alcatraz, yeah.
Yep. During this year's postseason Abu Dhabi tire test, the same one that, right? Isn't that where Jimmy's doing it? He was doing Bahrain. All 10 teams will take to the Yas Marina circuit for 2 days of testing when the season concludes, running the new 2019 Pirelli tires, see? Haas have announced that Delatraz, 21-year-old from Geneva, will be one of their 2 drivers for the test. Delatraz, a double podium finisher in the Formula 2 Championship with Cheroux Racing, will begin his preparations by spending the Brazilian and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix embedded with Haas, familiarizing himself with team personnel and operations. Wow, wouldn't it be great if the kid was good?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm naturally very excited to make my Formula One debut testing in Abu Dhabi, Delatraz said. I'm grateful to both Gene Haas and Gunther Steiner for giving me the opportunity to test with Haas F1 team. I'm equally appreciative of ADSS Group's support in what is another key step in my overall goal of becoming a Formula One driver. It's the perfect way to end my 2018 season, one in which I've continued to develop and showcase my credentials. I'm looking forward to spending time with Haas F1 team in Brazil and Abu Dhabi, prior to driving the VF18. I'm sure it will be a memorable experience as I work with the team running Pirelli's 2019 tire lineup. Do you think he actually said that? I don't think so.
No,
That's
I think somebody wrote
PR
that
person made up that quote.
Absolutely.
I'm just calling it out. It's the perfect way to end my 2019 season, one in which I've continued to develop and showcase my credentials. I'm looking forward to spending time with Haas F1 team in Brazil and Abu Dhabi prior to driving the VF18. I'm sure it will be a memorable experience as I work with the team running Pirelli's 2019 tire lineup. I'm not buying it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's a made-up quote. ADSS Group, what is that? Deltraz's participation in the test is supported by the Abu Dhabi-based ADSS Group, the logo of the financial services company featuring on both Haas VF18s for the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and following test. This is a good opportunity for Luis Delatraz to progress his racing career, and it's always been a special occasion earning your debut in a Formula One car, added Gunther Steiner. He has enjoyed a solid 2018 season competing in the FIA Formula 2 Championship amidst possibly one of the strongest fields in recent years. We look forward to welcoming Lewis into the team along with the ADSS Group at their home Grand Prix. I'm sure he will acquit himself with the same drive and determination that has brought him success throughout his career to date. Now, what does this tell us? It tells us that Haas F1 is looking for money. Right? The ADSS Group is funding this kid, and so this kid is bringing money. And maybe if they can get a good quality driver with backing that can bring a little cash, maybe that's not a bad thing.
Well, in racing, having extra money that isn't coming out of your pocket is never a bad thing.
Right? I mean, it is a shame, like a paid driver potentially, there's a downside to that, but not necessarily if the kid's got talent and he's just been bringing people along with him along the way. The ADSS Group. Remember, initially they were going to do no sponsorship. It was going to be all out of Gene's pocket.
Well, that was the plan was always to try and get sponsorship, but it's very difficult to get sponsorship when you're just new there and no one's just going to throw millions of dollars at you.
Well, they thought that we wouldn't even be doing anything. We thought we were going to stink.
Well, and exactly why, hence no sponsorship. Gene was flipping the bill.
Well,
but much like in NASCAR, once they were able to get sponsorship, he's not going to say, no, sorry, we're not interested.
You'd think there would be, I don't want to say a rush to give them money, but if you want to be in Formula One and you want to be on a car that's at least middle front, and you got to, they're relatively high profile. Haas F1?
It could be big here, too.
Somebody should jump in on that.
Is huge.
Somebody better than the ADSS Group, whoever they are. Like, how about a big company?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, there you go. There's your Haas F1 report. We pulled something out. That was
a serious
That's
report.
Real stuff. And that was the story on Planet F1. And I don't know, feels like a press release. Feels like a press release. All right, so let's keep on going now.
Brazil this weekend for F1.
Brazil, fantastic racetrack.
Yes.
Interlagos. Awesome. Brazil. Let's see. Oh, I can't wait till we get to SportsCollision.
SportsCollision.
Yeah.
Homestead tickets. We
want everybody to know that we've got these Homestead tickets. No, listen. We're offering you free tickets to Homestead Miami Speedway. Ford EcoBoost, 200, 300, 400. Gio and I are going to go. We're going to have a great time. Friday night, we always have a great time up there. Saturday is fun, and then Sunday is great. That was good. All good stuff. So if you want the tickets, then you got to let us know. Also, I will be out there at the Auto Club Finals, and I'm headed out that way tomorrow, in fact. Going to be very fun and interesting. The final race of the NHRA season. And NHRA Nitro got a lot of stuff going on. All right, let's keep on moving with the SEMA show. SEMA show was really good. I was out there with Performance TV, shooting our first 2 episodes of the 2019 season, which will air right after New Year's from SEMA on Velocity Network. I believe it is Sunday morning this year instead of Saturday morning, which I don't know if that's good or it's bad, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Ran into a lot of cool things. Got to, hang with Joe Amato and Snake and just a lot of fun, like drag racing related experiences. But the cars, unbelievable. There was a beautiful 58 Chevy with this like 3D paint, like looked like billet metal. All these are on my Instagram feed. I've posted them. Good stuff, though. It was a good show. It was a lot of fun. Saw a lot of people. Went up on stage with Amanda Busick on the NHRA stage. Did like 17 minutes of conversation, which was fun. Previewed the Auto Club Finals and Steve Torrance.
I thought she was going to Roy Firestone you. I thought she almost made you cry.
You know, I like when people try to, get to the core of who is the man behind WFO, right? Who is the man? What is he like?
Woo!
Because I do. I put out there. I have this persona. I was a guest on Nitro Notes. Did you hear that?
No, I don't think I heard
You didn't hear that one? I was a guest on Nitro Notes.
Might have
the
seen
PR
it. I just don't know
and
what-
Nitro Notes.
what.
Brandon, you didn't click on it? You didn't listen?
Yeah, then I definitely did.
You
yes.
should have listened.
Yeah, of course
The
I
WFO
did, yeah.
audience should have listened. Right? I tweeted it out there. The WFO account tweeted it out there. It was good stuff. When I am on the receiving end of the questions, it is very different. The different thing, different character. And it was good. We had fun. Came up with a stat, which I think you should have to listen to NHRA Nitro to hear the stat.
Then make them listen.
Right.
That's it. Tease.
Good stat. It's a good stat. But I dropped it out there already. And if you watch
Radio
the
tease.
thing, no, it's what is it? The stat is this. I will share it with you, Ignition people, because there's a lot of people listen to Ignition but don't listen to NHRA Nitro, and a lot of people that listen to NHRA Nitro that don't listen to Ignition, so it's going to work either way. I'm not going to force you to go somewhere else. To hear the information that I have now, J.R. Todd is competing for the championship. If he were to win the championship, he does have a lead. If he were to win the championship, that would mean no John Force or Don Schumacher car is champion, one or the other. Since 1992, it would be the last time that neither a DSR or JFR car won either championship. Did I say that right?
Sounds right to me.
That's it. That's the way you say it. Meaning, as far as the Nitro championships go, you can go from 2017 all the way back to 1993, and one or the other was represented as champion. It could have been Tony Pedregon driving for John Force, or it could have been Matt Hagan driving for Don Schumacher Racing, or it could have been Tony Schumacher 8 times, or John Force 16 times. But the bottom line is, going back to 1993, because in 1992 it was Joe Amato and Cruz Pedregon. And then John Force went on a run, and Tony Schumacher went on a run, and then they went back and forth. And there has not been a year that one or the other hasn't been champ. Quarter century. And if you want to take it back a little bit further, 1991, 1990 were also John Force. So it's a crazy, ridiculous stat that may be changed or broken or however you want to say it if J.R. Todd wins the Nitro Championship because Steve Torrance is already champ. And then that brings me to the Capco boys, which is, they got a shot for a perfect countdown. I spent a lot of time on the perfect countdown. I think it is the most captivating thing that has happened. Everybody has got to tune in to see if they can go perfect. Like every run down the track, are they going to be perfect? Can they be perfect? Perfection. You don't have to know drag racing or care to see if these guys can be perfect in their playoffs. 6 for 6. It's never happened. No one ever thought it could happen. When I joked about it happening after 2 races, people were like, yeah, right, that can't happen.
Dude, are the 72 Dolphins nervous?
The 72 Dolphins, they shouldn't be nervous because it's a different sport.
Oh, okay.
But they still celebrate, and they just celebrated.
They did just this weekend. They're marching to the Saints beat.
Popping bottles, baby. They pop the cork on champagne every year when the final undefeated team loses because it is so special to be perfect. And in the drag racing world, we don't have, you can have a perfect claim in the Lucas Oil Series, but you get to try, many races to get that perfect claim.
A lot of people don't think it's special to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look at you kind of like, oh, look at him, he's perfect.
No, I know. I get it all the time.
And they hate you.
What are you going to do?
Like poison because you're always right.
Being right all the time.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
a burden.
There it is. But yeah, the perfect countdown, man. I'm super excited about it. Super excited. All right, any other things? You want to do Sports Collision? We got to pick up the pace here, man. We got to pick up the pace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. It's past my bedtime.
All right, we'll do Sports Collision. I will start it off, and then we'll end with driverless cars. And it's going to be a smattering
Bring
of
it on
stories
home.
dropping. Okay, Sports Collision beginning now. No sound effects, Sports Collision.
Oh, how can you not have the Sports Collision sound effect?
Because I'm unprepared.
I'll even stall for you.
You weren't expecting the honesty because I'm unprepared? It's true, man. It's true. Like, where is it?
How can you not have the Sports Collision sound effect? Like, it should just be like...
Audio organization is not my best suit.
Or organization at all.
It is now time. I can be organized when I want. It is now time for everybody's favorite show within a show, Sports Collision. And I will start off the Sports Collision with, while I was in Vegas, this is just a fun little stat. I got to have a verbal interaction with Pete Rose.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yes,
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Me and Pete Rose.
The hits king.
Yeah. Well, here's the story. We, as in Kathy Fisher from Performance TV and myself, and a couple other people, or another person from the production company, who's a behind-the-scenes person. I'm not going to say their name just because they're not public personality. Anyway, we're walking through a mall-type area between Luxor and Mandalay Bay to go find food. This is after Friday at the SEMA show, and we're done, and we're tired, and whatever, and getting ready to, to feed ourselves. Right, we're going to go try to find food, and in this little mall area, because there's no such thing as just a walkway, it's got to have commerce there. It's got to be a way to part you from your cash. There is a shopping mall, and in the shopping mall there is a sports memorabilia store, and Pete Rose is there doing a signing. And so it's like, wow, look, there's Pete Rose. And so we started, walking, and I started thinking, I was like, hey, man. We should go talk to Pete Rose, like to really make this like a thing, to make it a thing. And so we went, and so I came up with an idea, that I was going to go in, and I was going to introduce Pete Rose to television personality Kathy Fisher. And I figured he'd be interested in the deal because she's a racer, and she's on TV, and she goes 220 miles an hour and all that stuff. But then I figured, I don't know. So we sat at the table. Now we're heading back. And if Pete is still there, we'll think about it. And I'll go in there. And, Kathy was totally not into it. She, of course, has dignity. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go in there. And I dove into the shop. And now there it is. It's me and Pete and the guy who wants me to buy a ball. And he's like, are you here to... Next subject. University of Miami Hurricanes. What happened?
So what happened with the ball?
Oh, you want to hear. So I was not buying a ball, although I probably should have, right? But I didn't want to go
buy
buy a Pete Rose ball.
How much was going to charge you? Like $100
I have
for
no
his autograph
idea.
or something?
Wasn't even going there. I was going to have an interaction with Pete for free. So I go, Pete, I know you from Hank Goldberg's Sports Talk radio show in Miami. We worked together down there. I also hung out with you in the green room for the Kim Camper Mikasuki Sports Wrap. We talked NASCAR racing. We're out here for the SEMA show. This is Kathy Fisher, drag racer, whatever. And we started talking racing. And we got going, and the guy who was trying to pitch the ball was not happy. He said, do you want to get a ball? I go, no, I'm not going to get a ball. I know Pete, man. I know Pete. Pete and I know each other from Miami, right?
From South Florida.
From South Florida.
Yeah.
That's it. And so now we're talking. There was nobody else there. I think the whole thing was kind of, I don't know. There was a big roll of money right in front of Pete. But I don't know if that was fresh or just it's not. I don't know. But anyway, was it a success? Was it a failure? I don't know. So we start talking drag racing. He goes, oh, yeah, those are the fast ones, the really fast ones. And now we're talking drag racing. Now we're talking drag racing versus NASCAR. Now we're talking, he's asking me about Formula One. We're having this full-on motorsports discussion. Pete Rose, one of the greatest of all time, and me. And I was like, yeah, you got a lot of fans in drag racing. And he's like, oh, really? I go, yeah, Tommy DeLago thinks you're the greatest baseball player that ever lived. He goes, oh, wow, that's really cool. Because you know what people like talking about. Themselves. The people like talking about themselves. And so now we're having this long, prolonged conversation with Pete Rose. And then Kathy starts talking to Pete, and she's from Ohio. And there's just a whole thing. And it went on, man, at least, I don't know, 2 minutes.
That's what I figured.
Maybe 5, maybe 4. I really thought I would call it 2 to 3 minutes, which is great. That was a long time. Pete Rose. And now I have a story.
Wow, way to go. Another Pete Rose story.
Another Pete Rose story. That's it. I collected a Pete Rose story, and I did not buy a ball.
Well, good job by not and buying the ball.
All right, Pete. We'll see you later, bro. Hey, good seeing you again later. That's it.
Yeah, if he had that restaurant up in Boca, we would go over
I
there
ate at that place.
I ate at that place, too.
Yeah. And I did hang in the green room with him for the Mickey Sports Wrap.
Oh, look at that. I mean,
there it is.
You wouldn't lie to the man's face.
No, well, the Hank Goldberg thing. We were at the same radio station. It was...
Yeah, well, we've all kind of said stuff about...
Hey, do you work at Haas F1?
Right. I mean,
Do you work there? All right, what else you got?
Not actually there, but... Well, SportsCollision. NFL's been...
Miami Dolphins sweep the New York Jets.
The Miami Dolphins, and yesterday, your great Miami Dolphins were participating in a game that was complete trash.
The field was terrible.
Come on. We blame it on the field?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Why not? It was a defensive struggle because the field was terrible. Guys couldn't make their cuts.
That game that came on afterwards between the Saints and the Rams, where the score was like 125 to 110.
Yeah.
And you got the Jets and the Dolphins get one touchdown between the two of them, and it was scored by the defense.
Because of the
field. In a 13-6 game.
And they're a crappy team. But still, they won, man. Who cares how entertaining it was?
I got to tell you, first of all,
that's
that's one of those wins where the win doesn't feel like a win. When you look at the the Saints and the Rams do that. And then the Sunday night game.
But those are good teams.
Is Green Bay and New England. Then you see
who won that?
Rodgers and Brady.
Who won that?
Who do you think?
Tom Brady?
Of course.
Well, he was home.
Yeah. And look, Brady's, I think he deserves the credit for being the best of all time.
You don't say that with a lot of authority, though. You kind of whispered it and said it out of the back of your mouth. Just saying.
Now that Lowe's baseball team won, it really pains me to realize just how one city has such great benefit of all these great sports franchises at once right now, They've had, the last 2 decades of success with the football team, and it's never really bothered me because, you got to Bill Belichick's damn football genius, and, it kind of bothers in the sense that every other team should be upset that they don't have that and get angry at your ownership for whatever reason it is that they can't find something better than whatever it is they're giving you, because really there's only a handful of teams now that you can look around and think that they have coaches that are good young coaches that, like the guy in L.A. with the Rams.
Listen, you know what? Massachusetts, man. They got a lot of good stuff going on.
But nonetheless, right now the Celtics are supposed to be pretty much penciled in at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. The baseball team just won.
Kind of where our democracy started.
I could care less about that.
Yeah,
We're
but
talking sports.
It's all connected.
No, they don't deserve to be
There's
that good.
Smart
at this.
people. There's a lot of smart people up there. A lot of highly educated, smart people that they do well at whatever they do, including like the people that are there. Like look at Kraft. Look at the way he handles himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the way he handles himself. He's a pro. He's good. What do we need to do? What do we need to win? We need this guy. We got this guy. Boom. And the Red Sox. The thing about the Red Sox. The timeline, the bank, the timeline, they paid in for 100 years, man. And now they're cashing out a little bit. Okay? Generations of Red Sox fans suffered so that this generation of Red Sox fans can enjoy 4 World Series. Okay?
People lived and died and never saw the Red Sox win.
Exactly. Generations of people lived and died. Unlike generations of Yankee fans, we all have experienced, me and my dad have experienced Yankee victories together, and we're fortunate to do that.
Right. We've had periods of futility, but never more than a decade, I guess.
Now, I know what that's like with the Miami Dolphins. It's a horrible thing. But, right now, the Boston is popping right now. Boston is popping. They should come up with a band. It's called the Boston Pops.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, NFL is in full swing, and things are great. Drew Brees going out there showing why he's almost underrated, to be honest with you. We have not made enough about Drew Brees being an all-time great.
Right. Because he wasn't good enough for the Miami Dolphins. They wanted Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. The doctor. Who knows if Nick Saban might have had his way with Drew Brees, he might still be here. But you know what? That's so inaccurate. The Dolphins would have found another way to blow it anyway. Like something else would have gone wrong.
We are certainly not the.
This is the curse of the
franchise.
way they got rid of Don Shula at the end.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep, it sure is. It's
It's
sad, but
so
true.
what
Yep.
it is. They sold the guy. Now, Don Shula should have been promoted. Don Shula should have been able to pick his replacement.
Well, slow down. I wouldn't go that far, but he should have been able to be given more leeway over when he wanted to.
Yeah, but don't you think Don Shula would have made a smart decision on who his replacement would have been?
Look, that's neither here nor there. All right, it's picking your replacement. Like I'm against that when guys, those old college coaches get to do that too. Like,
well,
I'm not for that at all.
The fans ran him out of here for Jimmy Johnson. Then Jimmy Johnson came in here, and he made a little bit of a splash. By the way, like I would be very happy with the Jimmy Johnson level of competence now, but it just never worked out. He never put together a team. And then Dave Wannstedt was terrible.
Well, no. You see, you're misremembering.
No, I'm not misremembering.
Dave Wannstedt was 10-6 and 11-5 every year. It was a terrible brand of football because it was the 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Well, no, we had Ricky,
but
still, he wasn't a good coach. We could see he was not a good coach.
But the team was not terrible at that time.
No, we had a chance to win the Super Bowl.
I got to tell you, any local Dolphin fan should crave for that era because they made the playoffs and they were 10-6 and 11-5 and 9-7. Yes, that was much better than what the futility they're stuck in now.
Well, it definitely
because they're
teaches
not
you
bad enough. They're not bad enough. If you're going to suck, you got to suck all the way.
Well, no, a couple of years ago we sucked all the way, and we got a top draft pick, and we did something terrible with it. That's the thing. It's like, there is a curse. There is the curse of Don Shula.
Not only that, but think back the year that they drafted. What was that? Number 2 overall. Jake Long was the Matt Ryan year. Go back further. The year they drafted number 2 overall. And they took Ronnie Brown?
Yeah.
The number 1 pick was Alex Smith, right?
Yeah, that would have been good. Well, we couldn't get him because he's number 1.
But do you know who got passed all the way and overlooked to the 20-something pick in the draft? Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
and the Dolphins, remember, they were happy with their quarterback at the time. And that's why they took Ronnie Brown.
Jay Fiedler, who was the quarterback?
Could have been Jay Fiedler. I think it was actually Gus Frerotte was the big signing or something. Remember that experiment for a season? And they broke him right away, like physically.
Just stop. Just stop. Hey, we swept the Jets, man.
But the Jets have a rookie quarterback,
doesn't matter.
man.
Anytime you sweep,
you got to sweep Buffalo
rival,
too. So let's see what happens.
Your rival, which we did. By the way, we're not going anywhere. What do you think? We're not going anywhere.
No, you're not going anywhere.
And that's the whole thing.
And that was what I was trying to segueing back. Thank you for bringing us right back on track. The Dolphins in their 13-6 game with the Jets yesterday.
Yeah,
they're miles away from competing with the Rams and the
we don't
Saints
have a quarterback.
And
we don't have a
and
quarterback
the teams that can win.
You don't have a quarterback. There's no quarterback.
Yeah, Brocktober is over.
No, it's it.
Even though he won that game
yesterday. The season
but...
is over. That's the thing for the Dolphin fans.
Yeah.
Your season is over. It's over.
Sorry to disappoint you.
You don't have a quarterback.
Yes, they cannot win.
Ryan Tannehill is not the answer. He's not the answer.
And he's hurt now.
Well, he's frail. That's it.
Yeah. Turning out to be frail.
You pluck a fruit off a tree and you're hoping it's going to be a good fruit. And nope, this one sucks.
You know what the number 1 ability is, right?
What?
Availability.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Where'd you hear that one?
Oh, I didn't make that stuff up.
What else?
They're playing basketball, but I don't really pay attention this time of year.
Okay.
I've got college football. Alabama is great. The Hurricanes suck.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
SportsCollision.
I mean, yeah, I wish that you could have made the sound effect go there. That was the perfect right there.
You know, the thing about Alabama, though, is I really I don't want to say they're cheating because that's not what's happening. But well, no, but this is
you mean more than what everybody else is cheating.
It's
how everybody's
they're
cheating.
the pride of the state of Alabama.
Right.
That's the thing in Alabama.
Right.
The University of Alabama. They are
Auburn is there too.
But they're kind of handling it a little differently than everybody else is handling it. That's all I'm saying. Is that they have built a massive
almost
factory.
pro-level football factory that happens to have a school attached.
No, there's something to be said about that.
And the state of Alabama is like, isn't Nick Saban the highest paid person in the state of
employee.
Alabama?
I don't know if he's the highest paid person, but he's the highest paid state employee.
He's the highest paid. Okay, he's an employee of the state of Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the state of Alabama. Instead,
now, to be fair, in a lot of these state schools,
yes,
the football coach is the highest paid employee in the whole state. So.
No, I listen. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying,
I'm not saying that this is just only in Alabama.
Right.
The
problem is accelerating, though. It's Alabama every year now.
Now there is a problem because it has become a little bit like, say, boring, sort of where. What is it now? 2 or 3 years in a row we have Clemson versus Alabama.
Yeah, these two schools that's their prime directive.
Now that is a totally different story.
Yeah,
because
you could see
I got to tell
happening.
you, I generally enjoy watching like the Hurricanes and the college football, but watch and like the big games. Obviously, I'm not tuned into like a Tuesday night Mid-America Conference or whatever.
No, I think you are. You're tuned in.
Game.
If it's on, you're flipping around. You're watching it.
Yes, okay, yes, but I'm not searching it.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, you're so terrible.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like, let's be honest. You're streaming it.
But
just like,
watching the Hurricanes over the weekend and seeing how they're not having a very good season, they have a long way to go to get anywhere near as good as to compete with those guys.
Right.
Or even Ohio State or Michigan. And those guys aren't quite at that level either. Like, Michigan's having a nice year, but let's see what happens when they play, if and when they make it to that playoff.
Look,
and they gotta
every
face Alabama.
once in a while, the underdog or whatever is going to summon some sort of fantastic ability and beat the overdog, and they'll make a movie out of it, like Rudy. But the fact is this. Here we go. Ready? Who won the World Series? The Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox come out of the American League East, where the other dominant team in baseball history resides. So the Red Sox have to be good enough to beat the Yankees. They did. They went on and just trounced everybody else, cut through them like a knife through butter, right? The Astros looked like children out there, and the Dodgers shouldn't even been on the same field. It was an embarrassment, okay? That's it.
Really was.
Because
they exposed the Dodgers.
They exposed the Dodgers because to win in the AL East, in fact, Lo, you should send us a thank you letter for making you good enough, and you were, and you did it. But it's the nature of competition. Just like
preparing you.
Don Schumacher Racing and John Force Racing. They have made 26 of the last 27 years worth of championships and have dominated the sport. And a lot of people are irritated about it. College football, it's happening. Okay, this is the formula. They've got a formula. The University of Miami is never, ever going to do what Alabama is willing to do to win national championships.
No, we can't afford it.
Can't afford it.
Simple.
Can't afford it. So what's going to happen? Are they going to let Alabama just continue to run over? Yeah. The state of Alabama, by way of the taxpayer of Alabama, is just going to do whatever we got to do to win championships because that's what they would rather do. That's the priority. And the answer is that's it. Mercedes, Formula One. Anybody going to knock them off the top? Nope.
Ferrari eventually.
Till the day when they, or Ferrari, decide, yeah, we don't want to do this as much anymore, and we'll cut back. That's the nature of competition, that the person who invests the most time, money, and resources, they're going to become the most successful. And that's what Alabama has done. Now, in the NFL, there's a system in place to prevent that. And it works.
Yes.
And yet, you still have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the best teams with the best organization and the smartest minds and the sharpest people dominating. The cream rises, man, whatever the system is. That's it. And there's no way to prevent it. What are you going to do? You're going to break up Alabama? Break them up. That's it. What else you got? I want to get to my driverless car. Are we to that point?
It was no. Now that gambling's legal, all kind of good news for the legal gambling world and stuff like that. I saw it was a record month for Vegas.
Vegas, baby. Yeah, Bob Smith wouldn't even hang out with me. He was too busy.
That's the thing. Record months every month now, and
the handle. I placed no sports wagers. I did very little wagering. I won a little money on some slots, and I bought stuff with it. I would get up, I would cash out. The best run I had. Are you done with Sports Collision? Is that
that's it? We're
Sports
done.
Collision
I can't
is done.
think of anything.
You got nothing else. There's probably a big sports story that you're forgetting.
Of course.
A massive sports story.
They're like, why isn't Gio thinking of that story? And that's it for the Sports Collision. So my best night gambling, which I did very little of, I won some money at Peppermill playing video blackjack. But then one night I decided to go down that little road to the Mandalay Bay. I was in the Mandalay Bay, and I put in a $20 bill, and my goal was to get a free drink. Just wanted to play.
Play long enough for somebody to come by and offer you a drink? Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
The waitresses.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's it. So I was playing just like a quarter slot.
Right.
Three, like a $1.25 max bet.
Okay.
So I'm hitting, and I'm going down, and I'm winning a little and losing a little and winning a little and losing a little, and I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging tough. That's all I want, is to be able to hang tough, man. The first couple of times I put money in the slot, I just lost it straight out. But, just like any champion does, I kept coming back and taking some cuts. And finally, now I'm battling. And here comes my Jack and Coke, right? Jack and Coke comes out, now I'm drinking the Jack and Coke, and I end up $25 cash out. Now I'm off to the next one. I've made $5, and I have my free drink. So it's a win now. So then I go to this next machine, right? And this next machine is like, $1.50 max bet, something like that. And I turn, no, it was a dollar machine, actually. It was like $5 max bet. And I turn the $25 into like $40-something. And then I take that and I go somewhere else, and I turn the $40-something bucks into $120. And then I went somewhere else and I turned the $120 into $66, and then I cashed out. And I went and bought that bag, that roll behind suitcase thing.
I see.
And so that's the winnings, right? The bag was $78. I won really, since I started out with $20, I won $46. So I got a discount.
You got about 50% off the bag.
I got 50% off on the bag,
Maybe
which
more,
I now have the bag, but I'll have the bag forever.
Of course.
Or at least a long time. You know me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure some people got lost when you turned 120 into $66.
Meaning I lost, everybody. I lost. Right, I was doing pretty good. They had this cool game. It was like pinball, like when you get the bonus round. Now you get 6 pinballs, and they go into different areas, 25 or 50 or whatever. And I got 25 was the highest one. That was on a dollar slot, so it was $25. Boom, it was cool. And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
No table games at all. The idea of going down and sitting at a table game by myself and just potentially enduring a negative run. I just did not want to experience that.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I'm on a limited budget. I'm there for 11 days. I need my money. I'm not there for vacation, man.
I hear you. I wouldn't want to go to Vegas for work and drop off the money I'm supposed to have earned here.
Absolutely. It was right at the front of my mind. Now
it would have been like free work. That would be the worst.
Free work. Going out for a nice meal or something. Went to Golden Steer, went to Peppermill, went to various Vegas-y places. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, that all that's work-related food too. That.
Bing, exactly.
You wouldn't be there eating if you weren't in Vegas for work.
Gotta eat.
Right? Yeah.
Gotta eat. That's it. Don't have to gamble. Gotta eat. But anyway, so while I'm there, I turn in my rental car, and now I'm on my own. I'm on heel toe, and so I open up the Lyft app, and the first thing it says is, are you down with being picked up by driverless cars? We're participating in an experiment with so-and-so company. And I'm like, of course. This is so WFO Ignition. Got to do it. They're all BMW 5 Series, so they're brand new cars.
Wow, nice car, too. The 5 Series is not
sweet.
Like the 1 Series.
No.
Like
it's
that.
very nice, almost like a limo. It's not a limo, but it's like a very nice car to be in. And so my first ride was with a driver. And so I asked this guy, and, what's up with these driverless cars? I thought I was getting a driverless car. He goes, no, there are many driverless cars on Lyft, but I'm not one of them. I'm a regular driver. But I'll show you one. And he pulled me up next to one. He goes, this is one. And it's this company called Aptiv. And it's got, foot-high letters on the side. You could tell this is some sort of corporate thing. So later on in the trip, I summon a Lyft, and it's like, do you want the driverless car? And I'm like, yes. So here it comes. The driverless car. And up it pulls, and there's 2 operators up in front. You can only have a max of 3 people in the driverless car because there's 2 operators. So I get in, and now I'm in a science experiment.
So it's only you plus 2 other people, or you could go in with 2 other people plus the 2 drivers? So 5 people in the car total?
Yes.
Or only 3 people in the car total?
3 passengers, 2 permanent
thank you. Yeah, no,
operators.
made it seem like, oh, man, so only one person can go in then?
No.
Okay.
Like 4 or 5 of us can't go in there together.
Proceed.
So, hello, my name is Roger, and this is Lenny. And we are from Aptiv, and Lenny is your service
Now,
operator.
you sure those guys aren't AI?
No. They could have been. They seemed pretty,
All right,
pretty
just checking.
human. They seemed human. And so they start going in the thing. Aptiv was at the Consumer Electronics Show in 2015, and the people from Lyft saw the technology, and they wanted to partner. And so there are 50 or so, I think is what they said, BMW 5 Series running around Vegas, and they are driverless. When we are on private property, now I started to pepper him with questions, right, Pep, because this is our thing.
Right.
Pepper him with questions. You're driving the car now. He goes, on private property, we drive the car until we get to the public roads, and then we turn it over to automatic, as we will do now. And boop, now it's automatic. And they hold their hands like, I guess it's a policy that they want to show me. Yes, they've got their hands like over the wheel.
Like hovering over
like
the wheel.
Hovering, like even like
helicopter parents.
Yes, hovering over the wheel, like ready to grab the wheel. Like just squeeze your hands, and now you're holding the wheel. But he wasn't holding the wheel. This thing accelerated. It changed lanes. It moved around. It brought me from Luxor to Caesar's Palace, and it was pretty interesting. It drove well. Does not exceed the speed limit. It goes right to the limit. It pushes it to the limit. It walks along the razor's edge. Okay? And it was pretty neat. And I asked every question. Okay, what about the Uber drivers? You're going to put all the Uber drivers out of work. All those people are making good money now. You're going to run them out of work. What about that?
Yep.
And they had an answer. These people had talking points. They were all prepared. I dealt with 6 representatives of the company, and they were all prepared. Well, as with any technology, there's always people that will be left behind. If you think of the buggy whip situation, when the automobile first came around. Yeah, no, they had something. I forget what exactly it was. Pushing it to the limit. It was a little late, but it was good thought.
We slow around here sometimes.
But that's going to be my NHRA burnout song. Everyone's been asking me, like, what would my song be? And that's it. Push it to the limit. Get to the words.
Are you sure it wouldn't be "You're the best around"?
And I think this one is better for, like, doing a burnout at the NHRA. Like, let's try it.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, next up.
On the razor's edge, don't look down, just keep your head or you'll finish.
Yeah, this is definitely the greatest.
Open up the limit.
And we have the clip from the movie playing on the big screen like that. Al Pacino.
Reach the top, but still you gotta learn how to keep it.
What's wrong with this? It's a classic. Gotta like
That is one of the earliest theme songs of WFO radio.
It sure is.
That is like goes way back. Like, I don't know.
Wayback Machine.
The Wayback Machine when we first pushed it to the limit, man. I love that jam. That is definitely my burnout song. Got to find out who sings it, though. I have no idea who sings it. Anyway, in conclusion, the driverless car was a total hit. It was great. I preferred it over the drivered vehicle because you get to be in a BMW 5 Series as opposed to whatever this guy has. And it's coming. The technology is here. It worked very well. It's got radar and LiDAR and all this different 240 sensors and cameras on it. You're not allowed to take photographs in there. They would not let me. I thought I was going to do a video like, hey, I'm about to get in a driverless car. They're like, no, you're not. But I'm creating content for my audience. They're like, no, you're not. But we had fun. It was good. It was good stuff.
Paul Engman, E-N-G-E, man with 2 N's.
Are we going to get a letter from him?
Nah.
I don't think so either.
We'll tell him that we know Grammy Award-winning artist
Gary Corbett.
Gary Corbett.
I bet Gary Corbett knows that guy.
But
Play it again. Play it again.
Oh, I got rid of
Here it is. This is what Gary Corbett's going to do. He's going to make us our own version of this song. Yeah, I think we're onto something here. This is very organic.
Think Corbett can do this?
It's better than this. What do you mean? This is just like old school cheesy 80s Miami.
You shut it off as soon as he started singing. Right? We waited through all the nonsense. And then as soon as he started to sing, you lost patience.
Open up the limit. Past the point of no return. Reach the top, but still you gotta learn how to keep it.
Cheesy sound effects too. That's smart.
I love that.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Watch it.
Wheel and double the stakes. Throttle wide open like a bat out of hell. You crash the gates.
Crash the gates. All right. Okay, and so what will happen is Gary Corbett will recreate the Push It to the Limit song with special WFO-related lyrics.
There you go.
There it is.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we came up with that idea before the show was over.
Woo.
Do we have anything else that we got to talk about, or is that it? That is all. I think that's all. Apparently, there's something going on in the country this week. Some sort of something. I don't know.
Like in the country?
Yeah, no, I'm making an election day joke.
Oh, yeah. Well, people go out there and vote. It doesn't matter who you support.
Yeah.
Vote.
Well,
vote early and often.
Here's what I will say. We don't talk politics, but there's a big difference between social responsibility and civic responsibility and politics.
Is get out
right?
there and vote. That's
Yeah.
what it's your civic duty.
And that's the civic moment of the show.
There you go.
Civic responsibility. Anyway, that is where we're at. We're done. I'm headed to the Auto Club Finals. I'm headed out to Los Angeles. I'm going to see L.A. Vlad for a couple of hours. Then headed out there. WFO radio listeners are going to be in the house. We're going to have a great time. Final race.
Tell Vlad to say what up.
Final race of the 2018 Mellow Yellow Series season. That is it.
Wow, I can't believe it. That's it. Another year come and gone.
Another year come and gone. And then it will be followed immediately by Ford Championship Weekend, the NASCAR season finale, to which we still have tickets. You must email me, joe@wforadio.com, to get the thing. And if for some reason your email gets kicked back or I don't answer, then you got to tweet me. Or get me on Facebook. Or get us somehow. You know how to do it.
You could get a hold of us
Yeah,
somehow.
come on.
Call the WFO line.
954-889-6796.
Do something. You can do it.
Come on. You got to do something. Write us a great review, all kinds of great stuff. iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. The new shows are up on YouTube now. I don't know if anybody's using that, but they are. All that good stuff. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time. WFO.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.